All right, we're live. And welcome to 506. You're joined by your host again, Stefan. And today my guest is Alex, who I've met in public school, which we just kind of fucked up and already said our hometown. And I was like, hey, don't mention that, but
yeah,
it's whatever. It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to have a filter. But no, so what I was saying before we started was I remember you were telling me how you wanted to curse less because of your...
If you have a presence like online, I think that you should.
But some people cursing is hilarious. Like
you said, like having a filter is pretty hard, I guess.
For me, it's incredibly hard.
Yeah.
Last time we met, you were just like, hey, you're super insensitive. I'm like, yeah, I know.
No, but people like that because I don't know if I told you, but I'm an RA at NYU, and one of my close people I work close with, they listen to this radio show. And the radio show host, I won't name it, and I won't give away the name of the person I'm talking about. But he listens to this show that has literally no filter. They talk about the government.
I love that.
Like secret. They talk about all these like.
That's what I want.
But as an outsider, it seems like it's conspiracy theories. But my friend is just so into it.
Yeah.
That you have to like sort of like understand where he's coming from. Wow, this guy is really into this, what I think is a conspiracy theory, but he thinks it's the truth.
No,
but
I know exactly.
For me, I guess I'm too normal. I'm too politically correct to have that kind of filter.
But I like that. Mode. I love that, dude. It's the best because then you listen to it because it's either gonna be two ways. It's either you're gonna take away from it. It's gonna be like, all right, maybe this guy has a point. Maybe there is some kind of like wacky stuff going on, or you're gonna be like, look at this silly bitch. Yeah. Oh my god, what is he talking about? It's hilarious.
It's like very polarizing.
It's fun. It's fun either way.
Yeah, it's one of two ways.
I think it's good to like have no filter. I mean, because definitely when I have interviews, I'm not gonna be like, hey.
Interviews with what? Like
it's jobs. Okay, with real jobs, no way. I'm gonna be like.
You should be as real as you.
Super fit.
Oh, wait. You're gonna be like politically correct fit, or are you gonna?
Well, probably not, because it's so confusing to the point where I don't really follow that stuff anymore. It's
confusing.
Yeah, it's so confusing, and it's just so over the top now. And I don't know, because at least with me in Boston, like some people, like it's a very small population that will actually like harp on you if you like use the wrong gender. Other people are like, yo, actually I'm this, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, cool, whatever.
Really? That in Boston? Like the city or
a majority of people, I would say like 95% of the people that I've met, okay, maybe like 98% of the people that I've met are like, okay, yeah, I think that these people should have rights, and I think that like, just be a normal human being, be good to people. But then other than that, they're not very like, oh my god, why did you say he or she? You
didn't use the pronouns.
Yeah, and then like I've never had anyone like.
Yo, I almost got fired for using that. I asked a resident, like, where are you from? And
you told me.
Did I tell you this?
Yes, you told me about this.
NYU, okay, first of all, I can talk about political correctness like all day, but that's probably not the most exciting
But it's hilarious. It's fun to talk shit.
Especially at NYU, which is and we're in New York, it's a very liberal area geographically. Like, I think New York is just very liberal in general. And NYU is the definition of like a liberal college, university, what have you. And man, as an RA, you have to be so politically correct. I feel like I'm suppressed. Like my beliefs have been suppressed. If I want my job, I have to like basically sign away like all my political beliefs. I can't voice any opinions, even if my residents are voicing their opinions. I can't. They're saying like,
oh, at all?
Yeah, I'm not allowed to give any opinion.
What topics? On anything?
Any topic.
So if someone's like, yo, I like this pizza, what do you think about it? You can't say anything about it?
Well, no, I said political. Like political opinions.
Oh, so you can't be like, yo, Trump 2016?
Yeah, I can't. Nothing, Hillary, nothing. Yeah, none of that at all. And it's just like super suppressing. I feel it kind of contradicts what university should be about. You should be very open-minded.
Because there's no discussion.
Yeah, but in how the RA function works right now is that we're basically babying these kids and being super sensitive by being overly politically correct and sort of censoring and having this filter on everything. But
yeah,
we can talk about this all day long, honestly.
If you want to get it out of your system.
No, I've got it out. I almost got fired, so I'll tell everybody. Okay, so well, I was talking about so we have this thing every year when you come in RA, you're actually meeting all your residents for the first time, and you kind of have to get to know them better. And obviously, the key things are like the proper pronouns, he, she, his, him, or it's not binary at NYU. It's not he or she. There's like a whole spectrum.
Yeah,
like
wasn't in New York? Isn't there like 31 genders now?
I don't even know, man. Like the drop down menu at NYU on the website, there's like so many options. I didn't even know what to pick when I was registering. I was like male, like it had male or like born male or like became male. I was like, what do you mean? Like still, I am a male. I don't know what to pick. But anyways, I asked this resident. I was like, where are you from? And I was like, oh God, I'm not supposed to say that. Where are you from? That's a big no-no. You're supposed to say, where do you call home? Because where are you from, people can take offense. Like, oh, what do you mean where I'm from? Does it look like I'm from Africa? Does it look like I'm from Ireland? Does it look like I'm from China? Is that what you're trying to imply there, Alex? You know? And then residents get so sensitive, and I got reported before.
Okay, but so then,
not a good socket.
So then these people who are like super uptight about it, are they genuinely like offended, or are they just like kind of like, oh no, I got this bitch?
No, they're not trying to like one up you. They're just like, I think I took a really long time thinking about this because I really didn't agree with it. And whenever that happens, I'm just like, wow, there's something that's really wrong here. I'm gonna think really hard about this. Like, why is this person so against me asking where are they from? And I just can't put it to words. And I think it's because it's a personal thing. Because if someone asks me where I'm from, I'm just gonna say, I'm from Brooklyn. I'm from Chinatown. I grew up in Chinatown. Yeah. I live in New Jersey right now.
That's what the words literally mean.
Yeah.
Like,
but some people, they're just, I don't know. It's just probably because of the upbringing. My upbringing is different than yours. You know. So
but like, do you think
they receive it differently? The intention is not to offend.
But how is it? I don't get it. Like
intentions is like the most important thing in communication. Because if I'm not intending to offend you, I'm just trying to get some information out of you. Where are you from? What's your name? You know, I'm not trying to like imply anything or impose my beliefs.
But that's what I mean. It's the implication that's actually offensive, not the actual like where are you from? Like it's the like he's implying that I'm not from here. Like that's the thing that they get hurt about, right?
Now, if we speak with that, if we are always cognizant of our implications, I feel like that's a filter in itself.
Well, yeah, because I mean, you can interpret things a whole bunch of ways.
And no one should be able to share their opinion, and that's how I feel as an RA. I'm like suppressed. Imagine that.
No, I totally understand.
You have to be polarizing. But at NYU, like the freshmen and sophomores, it's like, oh, I come to this university now. I have all these rights. I deserve to be treated, quote unquote, better than what I guess was before. I think that's what the reality of it is. Like before, these kids were being mistreated somehow, and now they have finally a chance and a nice little environment that they can really,
No, I feel that. That's what I really hated about, especially at BU. Like it's predominantly like you got like some 10,000, 20,000, I don't know how many, but like a lot of kids, and like a lot of them are like, feel the burn, like die hard Bernie fans. And then like nobody, like you can't. And then did you hear, did I tell you about that? How I saw a news thing where it's like someone put up like the Trump 2016 thing on like Emory or like some other college, but then like people were like offended, like they were like, oh my God, I'm actually like I feel like I'm in danger because of this.
Because they live around that person.
No, because the Trump 2016 was like stuck on like the wall.
Oh.
They were actually, and then they're like, I need my safe space. Like, what are you talking about?
In our world right now, I'd be so scared to put up like any beliefs. Like I'd be scared to put up Trump or Hillary.
See, so that's when it becomes helpful to be insensitive, because everyone just assumes, oh no, you're just being an asshole.
I don't know, man. Because I was saying like in the political landscape that we're in right now, with all the Black Lives Matter movement, people like killing each other, like guns, violence, and everything. So
we could do like 4 hours on this. I'll debate the crap out of it.
I know. I feel like my little cousins are so incensed. Like they look on TV like, oh, 50 killed, in mass shooting somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like a normal thing now.
Well, I mean, okay,
For our parents,
it's bad.
That's not normal.
It's bad, but it's also not like unheard of. Like when I went to China, like when I went to visit my grandparents, and then we went to Xi'an, and I remember watching on TV. It was like a tour group, like the same company that we were gonna go with, and they went to, I think, the Philippines or like Manila, and then some dude was like dishonorably discharged or something, and he got like super pissed off. So he took a bus hostage and shot the fuck out of everyone. And I was watching this shit on live TV because no, they don't censor it. Like it's only in the US that they're like
they turn it off and go back to the
they turn it off and they go
channel.
back and they dramatize it. It's like, oh my god, what's happened? Where it's like the dude's like so far away, like 3 blocks away. He's like, oh, I hear shots.
I know, we're kind of blocking the reality of
it's so different. On. And then if you just look at human history, like a majority of it is just wars. It's like we're just violent. Like that's just who we are in our blood. That's what. Like seriously, if you think about like the major landscapes and how they changed, it was just through war. But like it was crazy for me because I remember I was young. I was like before high school, and I was watching that on TV, and I was like, oh wow, this is cool. And I leaned into my brother. I was like, yo, what movie is this? And he goes, no. That's live. That's really happening. And I remember because there was a dude like hanging outside like the tour bus window, like he's hanging, he's dead, like he's like this bodies, and I was like, what?
Oh my goodness.
And then my family's like, oh yeah, we don't have that kind of TV back in the US. And then they just left and went back to eat. Like it was just a normal thing. So it's like
that's like some like live leak stuff.
Right? That's some stuff that you would see on like World Star.
Live leak or like Reddit 50/50. Oh man.
But it's weird because I mean, I've heard a lot of criticism from my friends that are like from Europe, and they say that like the US, the way our movies are, especially, is like what we would call like a PG-13 in terms of violence, they would call like an R. And then for like sexuality, like they'll have like butt ass naked people for their like PG-13, and ours is like whoa, nipple, okay, it's rated R. Yeah, so it's like flipped.
That's weird too, because when I was studying abroad in Prague, we went to this advertising agency, and they said exactly the same thing that you just said.
It's flipped, right?
Especially for like
that's so weird.
Especially for like women's nudity in lingerie companies and stuff like that. The advertising companies, they'd have to be very cognizant if it's an international brand of where they're advertising.
Oh.
So I mean, it's an advertising agency, so big companies would go to them for consulting services, what have you. And they would have to be very quote unquote sensitive, whatever word, I can't think of the word, but they have to know, like in China, how much skin is appropriate to show. It's different in China than in US, and it's different in US than in Europe. In Europe, it's very open.
Yeah, they don't really care.
And relaxed, I would say. It's very nice there.
It's very nice.
I mean, the advertising, I mean, it wasn't like porn or anything. It was just like, oh, it's kind of slightly more revealing.
Yeah, that's fine. They're very relaxed about it.
Yeah, more chill, I would say. Chill isn't a good word.
But then what I'm saying is that it's weird because the US movies are like super like Michael Bay-esque explosions and blood and people, but then like our TV isn't like that at all. Like we censor it out.
Ooh, TV and movies.
Like, you know what I mean? Like the news, they don't really show you that kind of stuff. Like they cut it out. It's just like, okay, we'll just not talk about it.
I guess because they give you the warning. I mean, I see on CNN now, like, oh, be careful. These images that we're about to show you contain very graphic material. Please, like, remove any children from the room right now. That's my dog.
Yeah, it's all good.
Scratching at the door.
But I don't know how I feel about, like, I guess it's okay to kind of like shelter people from violence. The nudity thing, I don't think anyone really, like once you turn 18, no one really cares.
Right? I mean, imagine, okay, so I've been hanging out with my little cousins this entire summer. I'm just trying to think right now, like if my little cousin saw like a fully naked man or a fully naked woman, like I don't know what would go through her mind.
How old?
She's 6.
Okay.
And imagine the same thing for violence, like being too sensitive to that.
Yeah,
at that age, it's like, oh, it's a normal thing. But also, like in America, we shy away from we're very closed about our sexuality as well.
Are we though?
I think so. I mean, we're sort of moving like the gay things,
Yeah, yeah.
LGBT community. It's like it's sort of moving to. I mean, I'm at NYU. I don't know how it is anywhere else because I'm in my college bubble.
Yeah.
So
that's another thing that I was surprised about because like when you went to NYU, were you expecting like, yo, big campus, a lot of people from all over the world, I will get like a taste of what like real life is like, and then you realize like, no, these are all kids, we're all dumb, and nobody has any idea what the fuck's going on.
Well, there's a handful of kids that are actually very, very intelligent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that goes for every college
Yeah.
campus. But I went in with a very open mind. I knew that I was going to NYU. There's people from literally all over. You know, we were very close to changing our name to the Global Network University, GNU.
That would be sick. That would be cool. I don't know, but like you love the
but
New York name though.
New York is the brand, yeah. But we're literally a global university. We have the most campuses all over the world.
What?
I know, man. Studying abroad. I would recommend anyone listening right now to study abroad. And if you're older, go back to college and study abroad.
Go back to college.
Because oh my gosh, like you can do anything. It's like a free semester basically. Especially if your university does a very good job planning it. I mean, I'm very fortunate. I know that.
So then from what I hear, at least at where I'm going, I've heard that if you go abroad, generally the classes are like curved.
You're going?
Better. No, I'm not going.
Okay.
See, that's the thing. I considered it, and then I was like,
you can.
no, I couldn't because I was cramming my major and my minor, and then I needed the overload and stuff, and they don't offer any of those like higher level classes. You know what I mean? Like it's normally like the beginner, like, oh, okay, finance 101 or like chem 101, like that kind of stuff you can really travel with. But
that's why it's better to have it early on so that you can take some of the gen eds abroad.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really important for universities, I think, to give students an abroad experience because it's very humbling and very enlightening.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
Like we grew up. Okay, so in America, you went to school all through in America, right?
Yeah.
So you're growing up. You're growing up with this super American education, which basically says, in a nutshell, okay, yeah, we had a civil war. We left the UK. We had colonies. Our founding fathers were really smart. They put together a Bill of Rights and this fantastic piece of paper called the Constitution, and we're better than every other country in the world. And then I go to Europe, and they don't like boast about themselves like that. They like talk about like their roots, especially in the museums.
Because they have way more history.
Yeah, we are a young country. We don't have that much history, and like we're so boastful. Going to Europe, going to Vietnam, it's like wow, these people like they're not trying to like wave their big stick around. They're just trying to live and like have fun and enjoy.
Yeah, dude, because the U.S. is just the teenager. You know what I mean? We're going through puberty right now. Like, what is this?
And I didn't understand that analogy until I sat down and thought about it for a while. Like, wow, what did that person mean? Like, U.S. is a teenager with its teenage angst.
And it's especially with like I don't know, were your parents from here or did they?
They're from Hong Kong.
Okay, so yeah, same with my parents. And then like they said that, hey, your history is a joke. And I was like, what? It's like, yeah, we had to study like 10,000 years of Chinese history. What do you mean you can't learn this? Get an A. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah, we remember all the emperors and all the prime ministers. And I was like, no.
I don't even know, dude. I remember our teacher in 8th grade. I don't know if you had the same one as me.
If you want to write it down, we can do it that way.
We're talking about, but like.
Wait, is it what class?
Social studies. He's also the track coach for high school.
Was it 8th grade?
8th grade.
Yeah.
He's a track. Okay, we learned about that stuff, but he like squeezed it all into like a week.
Yeah.
And you can't learn that stuff in a week.
I mean,
you can't. And I'm pretty sure we skipped around like a few.
Yeah. Wait, were we in the same class?
2,000 years. I don't remember.
We were Athens and Sparta, right?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Sparta.
Okay.
I don't remember. I think I was Athens.
That was Athens. I remember that. And then I was because I remember you ran. You did the sprint stuff.
I did run. And
then you just smoked them. And then he was like, and then their teacher's like, wow, that's the first year Athens beat Sparta. What the hell happened?
I was so tired after that. That's funny. Good times.
Dude, it's weird, right? Because like when you grow up, there's a lot of stuff that you didn't think you would appreciate, and then you look back, you're like, damn.
Yeah. What do you appreciate? What do you mean?
What? not having to do jack shit. Are you kidding me? Just go home and have like, okay, so in my opinion, it was the homework wasn't hard. It was just a lot. It was just a lot in volume, right?
Mhm.
It was like, oh, okay, do these like 35 math problems or whatever, right? And it's not hard. It's just like you just didn't want to sit down and take the time to the point where you procrastinate until it's like the lunch period before, and then you copy your friend's homework, and then
Yeah.
you know
The grind. That's the grind.
you know what I mean. But then in college, it's like completely different. It's like, oh fuck it, I don't care. I don't need.
Thing is, I look at it this way: it's you're always on the line, and these days it's starting early and earlier. Like kindergarten students have to basically they're dictating their life or their entire lives, their trajectory at least, from such an early age.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They don't even know
Dude, I
it.
don't like that.
They're being divided into upper, middle, and lower class when they're in pre-K, and they don't even know it.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
Because it depends on the schools. It depends on your education. Let's be real.
Oh, like if you go to
Percentage-wise, yeah.
if you go to like a good preschool versus like a really shitty.
Yeah, like a zone. If you get into a bad zone,
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
On the other hand, though,
imagine that your life is dictated, not entirely. But
I don't
like
think- yeah.
percentages, just percentage-wise. Like most kids that go to Harvard get good jobs. Most kids that go to
Do
some
they?
community college, they may not get as good as jobs. As good as the.
Well, you're buying a name brand. That's really what you're doing. Your diploma doesn't really matter. Like no one actually checks your Do people care about your GPA? Not really, right?
They care about cutoffs. That's it.
Oh, like
Cutoffs,
if you're
and
like below a 3 or something, then you're no go.
Yeah, so I'll tell you how it works at Stern. At Stern, at least, this is how it works. There's a few like levels of when GPA matters. The first level is getting the cutoff to even apply for the company. Well, no, actually, getting the cutoff to even sign up for our career center thing. There's a cutoff for that.
What?
Like, yeah,
To even sign up?
not sign up, but like you're put into different brackets. So like there's
Yo,
some
this is some
certain
like
companies-
Hunger Games stuff,
I
man.
know. This is how. I mean, that's how they divide upper, middle, and
I
lower
don't like,
class.
dude.
I mean, this is already the upper echelon of kids. I would say. I'm not trying to boast or like be egotistical. I'm saying you're divided, like right from the bat. Like a 3.8. Okay, you can apply to these companies. Here, you have access to these companies. Okay, cool. Now that you're in here, the second level is, okay, within these companies, those companies have their own set of rules. Okay, we only want 3.85s. Okay, Goldman Sachs only wants 4.0s. You know, I mean, me, I was on the bottom sort of half, but I still slid through. I think I got by pretty well. I'm actually wearing my company shirt right now,
Dude, I don't.
right here.
It looks good, dude.
Dude, I do not want to be a corporate drone, man. After working the summer.
Wait. Oh, so do you like the job or you don't like the job or?
Okay, I didn't have the experience. I'm not gonna name the company.
Yeah, don't.
I'll just say Big Four.
Yeah, one of the big 4.
Yeah, one of the Big Four. I know a lot of people that work in this particular company of the Big Four,
Me too.
and they tell me all their experiences. And I think the internship experience I had at my client
Did not
which is-
live up to that.
Yeah, which is a large financial institution, did not live up to the experience that I've heard from all these other people.
Just you don't party hard enough, dude.
No, but I was very understanding because my client, being a large financial institution, the onboarding process to get the IDs, to get onboarded into the system, the computer, there's a lot of security measures, like
Yeah,
background
there is.
checks, fingerprinting that you have to go through in order to even like get a login, to even log onto the Wi-Fi. It took 5 weeks out of my 8 or 9 weeks internship, you know, and that's way too much.
Yeah.
And I gave them that feedback.
I mean, there's no way they can speed it up though, you know.
There's no way. That's why I said I was very understanding, and I knew it didn't define the experience as other people told it.
Right. I mean, okay, but in the end, you did take something out of it, right? So that is really what it.
You want to know what I took out of it?
I fucking hate my job.
I never wanna go-
the wrong major, dude.
Okay.
Should have been an arts major.
So the thing is, okay, yeah, I think I have a more creative mind.
Yes.
Right. Is it right brain? Right brain's
I
more
think that's
analytical.
a bunch of hooey, dude. I don't know if that's a real thing.
The right brain, left brain thing.
Yeah, I think.
I'm more creative. That's all I was saying.
Yeah, I think right side is more creative.
And what I was trying to say is, I'm willing to do the work for the first few years to get my feet wet and to pay off my college debts
Yeah,
and whatnot. Like I'm willing to do what I have to do, but what I want to do is something more creative. And also, I told you about my e-commerce thing, getting into e-commerce. Hopefully, I'm not too late to the game. And also,
Oh, shit, we didn't drop your advertising or whatever.
well, we were gonna do an intro, but I guess I can just say
It's, I mean,
I'll just do it right now, really fast.
yeah, at any point you want, really.
So we were supposed to do an introduction for me. My name's Alex. I'm a current rising senior at NYU. I guess I'm very involved in the NYU community. Oh, I also go to the business school. I forgot to say that. But whenever I say I'm from Stern, I feel like I'm automatically being boastful. You know, it's like from someone saying like,
yeah,
I go
but
to
I mean,
Harvard.
all business schools do that too.
Like, yeah, I guess. But Stern is just they teach you how to like separate yourself from the rest of NYU. We almost like departed.
Yeah, no,
We almost
that's what
separated.
happens.
We have separate Wi-Fi. We have separate email. We have
No,
separate
Yeah,
everything.
no, I totally at BU there's the business school has like their own library.
Yeah, that's so
Yeah.
lame. I think.
No, they have their own
That's not
career
cool.
center. They have their own everything.
I think that's so lame.
I think it's cool because I'm in it. I think it's cool because I'm a minor and I
I
just
mean-
kind of like weaseled my way in.
Weasel.
That's really what it was, dude. I was literally, and the thing is, like, for the business school, they like promise, like, oh yeah, like 97% of the people
Get placed,
yeah,
right?
get a good job.
Yeah,
like, they
yeah,
get
yeah.
a good job after. And I was like, hey, I'm a minor. Do I get it? It's like, no, we don't really give a shit about you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you're on your own, kid. It's fine. Like, technically, I do have an advisor, but they never reach out to you. So I was like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, the advisors, they're not that great.
But
Anyways,
it's wacky, man.
where did I leave off?
You're a student at Stern.
Oh, yeah. Currently studying information systems and management. And I currently intern. Well, I just finished my internship at a Big Four accounting firm, and my experience from that kind of led me away from the corporate world. I didn't want to become a drone that goes in and day out, which is why I started my e-commerce website or e-commerce store. And
Okay,
we can
so-
talk about that.
Yeah, what is that about? I don't.
So, okay, I'll tell you when I first started getting curious into e-commerce. I was really into private labeling. It's a term. Okay, very
Break
fast.
it down, because
Yeah.
I really know.
Very fast. I got you. So private labeling is this process where, and I can't believe very few people in America know this, and I'm very
No, maybe we should
astonished.
stop.
no. It's people should know this. The brands that you're buying from Amazon, Walmart, Kmart, whatever store online,
So is it online stores or physical ones too?
there's physical ones too, because the private labels that make it big, they get sold in retail stores, Best Buy, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So private labeling is this process of where you basically buy something from a Chinese manufacturer. It doesn't have to be Chinese. I'm just saying
majority,
that.
yeah.
I'm just saying that because of Alibaba, and I'll talk about Alibaba as well. You're buying something from Alibaba, from China, and you put your own brand name on it. They ship it to you. Let's just say it's a phone case. I'm going to call this Stefan phone case. And now I'm going to sell Stefan phone case on Amazon. I'm going to sell it on Groupon. I'm going to sell it on eBay. And let's say that there's some technology. It's a charging phone case. So there's actually a lot of people who want charging phone cases.
Pokemon Go.
I'm actually selling Pokemon
Dude,
Go. I'm actually doing a pretty good job right
You
now.
play, dude?
I don't play. I live by Central Park.
There you go.
I don't-
No. Number one rule as a drug dealer. No, not me. I'm just saying in general. Like,
Oh.
you only sell it. You don't use it.
Yo, yeah, there's people who set up lures or whatever, and they get jumped. They get robbed.
Yeah, no, there's some wacky stuff.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If you're gonna be
Some
selling
next
Pokemon Go
level-
stuff, don't play it.
Yeah, I don't
'Cause
play.
you'll get too sucked
I'm level
in.
5. I'm level 5. I'm not good at the game.
I looked at that and I was like, no way, man. League already like ate so many years of my life. No way.
I know. I haven't been on League in a while too, man.
I get so mad. I guess I play a game and I get so mad.
I can't.
Even if I win, I end up more mad than before. I'm just like, why do I do
What?
this to myself? Like this is not healthy.
Okay, slight Pokemon Go and League tangent. Anyways, for the betterment of America, you guys should know about private label. That is the whole process. People are basically, and there's millions of Americans, and not just Americans, everyone in the world is starting to do this because Alibaba is now very open, very accessible to the world. You can literally go on Alibaba, type in anything you want. You want to sell clocks, you want to sell mirrors, you want to sell printers, you want to sell laptops. you can do it. You won't know the quality of it until like you do research and contact the manufacturer. But you can basically start your own company, e-commerce website like in a heartbeat, as long as you are dedicated and have a little bit of startup capital to really invest. I mean, you can do really well. But right now, I would say private label is very saturated. And what I'm about to talk about, which is drop shipping, is the sharks of the game right now. And it's sort of getting to the point where it's a very mature market. Drop shipping is basically you take no risk. It's very minimum risk. No, and by risk I mean inventory, because when you outsource something and buy something from Alibaba, you're taking inventory. I don't want to hold 1,000 phone cases
that you might not be able to sell.
I might not be able to sell
because you just lose money because nobody wants it.
Exactly. So drop shipping is you're taking no inventory. I'm gonna sell Stefan's case that he listed on Amazon for $5 on eBay for $9, and I do this with every item.
Wait. That doesn't make any sense. So you're selling my branded case that I could buy on Amazon for $5 and you're selling it for $9?
The same case for $9.
But why? I mean, what's the difference? Like, why can't someone just be like, oh, it's cheaper on Amazon, let me just buy that one?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I know that we probably have pretty similar mindsets in terms of shopping, but there's a whole world out there. And a lot of people are very brand oriented. And
so brand, like, I only want to buy from eBay.
Exactly. And you're exactly right.
You're just okay, but there's a lot of dummies out there, man.
Okay, but there's eBay, there's Groupon, there's Amazon, there's iOffer, there's so many e-commerce websites out there that we don't know, and there's people who are literally tied down to them. Amazon is probably like the kingpin right now. They're the biggest player in the market, and I would say like they're only growing. But some people are tied to eBay. Some people are tied to Groupon, and they won't even check otherwise. They won't. They don't even.
So
care.
It's just that small percentage of people that you're hoping to make a profit off of.
And I do. And I tell you from experience. I'll tell you from experience right now. It's slow. It's slow right now. It's slow right now. Like I have a very small marketplace, but as soon as you slowly develop yourself as a drop shipper and you scale, it can be very profitable as a side business.
So is this just like a one-man thing right now?
Right. Well, I actually hired a virtual assistant. She's in the Philippines through a website called Upwork, which NYU professor, two of my NYU professors helped start. Actually, they're not founding fathers or anything.
So then what does it do? It just helps you connect with.
You should really look this up. Upwork is this place where you can find freelancers to do any type of work you want. So you can have someone.
You pay them, or
I pay them.
Yeah.
And I pay them what's considered a fair wage. I know like people that may listen to this podcast say like, oh, $3.25 is not a fair wage.
No, but it's a different country. It's a different,
Dude, I went to Vietnam, and for $3 I can get a full meal.
Yeah. Like, no, you go to Thailand, dude, it's nuts.
Yeah, exactly. But people in America, and I would say like some people, you're saying like you're paying them $3.
They don't get it though. Yeah, it's a different world. You can buy a lot with. It's just their market and their currency.
It's different. Yeah, they have different laws. I mean, look at like 5,000 yen. It's worth dick.
And
we were taught this in Stern, like business ethics, especially with child labor.
Yeah.
And like proper buildings, safety.
But then, so if you do this Upwork thing, don't you have to go through like some kind of tax, or how does that work?
They handle all the taxes.
Oh, that's nice. That's convenient.
Yeah, I don't think they have any like social security there, so they're not paying like social security tax. They're not paying property tax. You know. But they handle it all. I mean, I've been working with this woman in the Philippines. She's been doing a lot of the research for me to find the stuff to dropship products that are profitable, and she basically sends me a list. So I just approve them, and then I.
So it's her job to find like, oh, there's this phone case that's only on Amazon and doesn't really have a huge presence on eBay. You should sell this on eBay.
Well, if it has a presence on eBay, I'm still gonna list it.
You're just
because there's a lot of dropshippers out there right now, and you have to compete with one another.
This is so fascinating.
So how do you compete with one another? Now you're actually creating value as a business. I offer you 100% satisfaction guarantee, and this is how I do that. There's 30-day return policy. I'll pay for your free returns. If you're not satisfied with your product at any time, here, just send it back to me. I gave you a free return label. No questions asked.
Okay, but in the end, your customer base is going to be predominantly people who don't check across different
channels.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people out there like that. You'd be surprised.
Is that unethical? That feels like kind of slimy, dude. I mean,
Okay.
no, don't get me wrong. I'll do it too. Like, I would totally do it.
Okay, so when ethics comes into play, I think it's good to think about, like, you're basically buying low and selling high. That's what you do in the stock market.
Yeah, I know.
I'm buying this Apple stock for $200 right now. I don't even know what it's at. I have some Apple, but
Dude,
I don't know what's that.
Can you imagine if you bought the Apple stock back in like the 90s?
I don't like doing that anymore because there's so many.
It makes you so sad.
Yeah, there's so
Just
many
like-
should have and could haves in the stock market. There's always going to be should have, could have, would have, but let's just say it's the same thing. I'm
Yeah.
buying. Okay, at this point, Stefan is selling a stock, one stock of Apple for $200. Okay, Alex is willing to buy that right now, $200. Okay, look, there's Jerry over there. 1 week later, Apple stock becomes $210. Alex is going to sell his Apple stock for $210 to Jerry because Jerry's willing to buy it
Yeah.
for $210. He's willing.
Yeah. Okay. So
He
you're
doesn't
just
know.
comparing it. Okay. Then in that sense, I can see how it is. Yeah, it's just like a very slow stock market.
And also, yeah, I mean, slow, I guess that's a good word for it. And also, it's also solving an inefficiency, I would say.
Because they wouldn't be getting those products anyway.
Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't find it. I mean, I'm completing the market. And there's a theory that there's a very big name dropshipper, and I'm kind of blanking on it right now. I think his name is Anthony Hull. His name is Anthony Hull, I think.
Okay. I don't know.
And there's this theory where eventually dropshippers will actually make the market more efficient because all the marketplaces online will be connected in one way or another. And the cost of being efficient is that spread that the dropshipper is taking for himself. Because you have access to all the products in the world
Right.
at one point. Somehow, like in theory, this is on paper. You'll have access to all the products on Amazon. And I'm saying Amazon, eBay, and Groupon, and iOffer, because those are the 4 major ones I know. But there's so many others out there that I don't know, that you don't know. And eventually they're all going to be connected. And the price to be connected is that the margin, 8% is like the standard, I would say, for most dropshippers to be efficient.
Oh,
I think that's cool.
Yeah,
and
no,
I think it's a cool like side gig.
It's a definitely. So the thing that I always bring up whenever I talk to someone about like I can tell you're like super invested, not like
I'm super into this right now.
You're like it's almost like an unhealthy obsession. Yeah, no, but that's a good thing. Like that's what a passion really is.
Yeah.
So I can see that you're like really interested and you just want to learn more. And every time like something like a new offer comes in, you're like, oh, okay, how do I attack this? How do I do this?
Yeah.
And I love seeing that in people. And the thing that I realized was that when you're like back to the whole preschool, pre-K thing that you were talking about, is that when you're growing up, I feel like, especially with going through a stereotypical education system, is that you really learn like, oh, what kind of jobs are there? It's either going to be like a fireman, a policeman, a businessman, a business. Like just business in itself is like there's so many different levels, and the fact that it's boiled down to that little, and then like you don't really think about it too much. It's like, oh, I want to be a doctor. It's like, why? Oh, it's because it's like one of the 5 jobs that I heard about when I was in kindergarten. You know what I'm talking? Like there's a lot of jobs out there. Like podcasting itself, I didn't know it existed. I didn't know that I would like it either. But yeah, dude.
You just find whatever gives you like a sense of fulfillment.
But okay, so I heard a TED talk about this, and they said that you shouldn't chase your passions, because when you become too narrow-minded and you focus on grinding out all the work just to get to that passion, you might not have that passion anymore, or you might have found something new. Like you should be, I think the quote was not passion-driven success, but success-driven passion.
Don't do success-driven passion. Don't do that.
Why not?
Is that what you're saying?
No. That's what they said you should do, which is okay. Which is weird, right? Because we grew up thinking, oh, I just got to make a lot of money, and then you get to college and everyone's like, yo, there's way too many of you guys trying to be the next CEO of Walmart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So let's all chill. Maybe you should do advertising. Maybe you should do marketing. Maybe you should do, whatever. And then like everyone gets split up, and it's like, oh, just follow your passion. But then in the end, like, does anyone actually really give a fuck about you?
I think it should be passion. Success-driven
passion. Or do you think passion? See, take a moment to digest that, because when I heard it, I had to like listen to it 4 times before I was like,
okay, passion driven success.
Passion-driven success is like, oh, like for me,
I chose that one.
I'm super passionate about martial arts, so I'm just gonna be the best martial artist in the world. Like that would be like my passion-fueled success. But the TED Talk advised people to not do that, because what happens is that you tunnel vision on this one thing, and that you shouldn't have let one passion define who you are as a person. And that like a prime example is over the summer I took up a PR internship, and I was like, I have no idea what PR is. Let's go fucking figure this shit out.
Wait, it doesn't have to be one though. It could be.
But that's the thing, yeah.
So this is how I hear it. Passion-driven success sounds to me as do whatever fulfills you and makes you happy.
Yeah.
As long as it gives you the trajectory towards success. If that's the path you want to take it. And
I think what they're going at is like, if you're passionate about something, if you're passionate about like drones, or if you're passionate about like cars or whatever, that you should focus so much on it until you are the best at that. That's what passion-driven success. So it's like, it's your passion is what's fueling your success in that specific field.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what they tell you not to do.
So what's success?
So that's different. And it's just to be successful at whatever you attempt to do, and that you should give it your all, even if it's not your passion. So it's like, I hate math, but I have a passion for success. Does that sound, it sounds really cheesy and weird.
Okay, I think I just self-identified my own path right there. Like,
You're just
like, I'm definitely the former.
Yeah, oh no, I'm definitely a former too, but that's the thing. Like,
and they say not to do that.
No. So what happens is that originally it was just, hey, do whatever you like, do what makes you money, right? Do what makes you money, do what puts your food on the table. And then like we grew up, and especially towards like the end of high school and towards college, I've gotten the general vibe from a lot of people that are like, don't do the same thing I did, which is just chase money, go pursue your passion, right?
Mm-hmm. But
then I hear from other people like way older who are just like, no, that's a noob move. Don't do that.
Noob move. That's a noob move, guys.
But I think it's still, I like the idea that it, like, maybe your passions do funnel you too much into one thing, because for me, predominantly, especially I would say until I was like 20, I was predominantly introverted, and I just didn't, I was super insensitive, just hated everybody, was in a bad place in my life. Just,
you're still super insensitive.
You're right about that. But I like talking to people now, and it's actually a lot of fun. I like conversations, and I like conversations where I can actually take something out of it, where I feel like, oh, I've been given this information and it changes my perspective on something, or I feel like I've taken something away from it. Like the whole e-commerce thing, I no idea that existed. And
Bill Nye the Science Guy, one of my favorite quotes from him is that everyone you'll ever meet,
weed every day.
Everyone you'll ever meet knows something you don't.
Yeah.
Which is why I always give people a chance. Like, even if I feel like that's totally worth it. If I really like deep down, like they bullied me or something, they really did something to wrong me, I'll still like hear them out, because I think they have something valuable to say.
No, I mean, that's definitely one of the big life lessons that I feel I've learned.
Have you taken a Myers-Briggs?
Yeah.
What are you?
Oh, I'm a ENTP.
ENTP. Okay. Do you know what that's the
devil's advocate?
Okay.
Debater.
I'm a ENFJ, which is the protagonist.
ENFJ.
Quote unquote natural born leaders as well.
Just I can see it. No, I can.
Just dropping it there. But there's a website, the 16 personalities. Is that where you take?
Yeah. Okay, so I guess for viewers, or I guess we don't have any viewers, just listeners who don't know, you can literally just Google up like Myers-Briggs. Is it Myers-Briggs?
Yeah, free Myers-Briggs, 16personalities.com, whatever. And then there's so many of them. They
run you through like 100 questions that you would answer, and in the end it comes out and it spits out this kind of profile that you it was, when I first took it, I was very surprised to see what it was like, because it literally sounded like it was reciting who I identified myself as back to me, and I was like, whoa, that's no way. And then like they kind of chip you like, hey, you learn more about it, pay some money for this, and I was like, no, it's fine. But
it basically generalizes you into a category.
Yeah.
And there's 16 of them, and they claim that this is like, these are all the kinds of people in the world.
Yeah.
And surprisingly enough, at Stern, they made us take this.
Really?
They paid for it. They paid for the full
That's
version.
a real. Why though?
Because so I'm in the management consulting group, at Stern as the
that would be my ENTP.
was,
Is a really good managing consultant.
I was the VP. Oh, yeah, they say that in the thing, right?
Yeah, they tell you what jobs you're really good at, what your romances are gonna be like,
Yeah,
your
yeah,
family, your friends.
Yeah. But anyways, the Stern administration was very, they full on supported this Myers-Briggs exam, and they made all the leaders, all the club leaders at Stern take it so that they know how to communicate. So they know I'm an ENFJ. How do I communicate with someone on the opposite end, like ISTJ or ISTP? You know, it's very hard.
But the thing is, like,
You have to know how they think.
Even if it's a 16 personality, I have mixed feelings about it, because when I took it freshman year,
You're different now, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In a year,
Yeah,
you're
I
a
know.
completely different person. Like,
I think you're right.
especially through, and I've said this to like a number of my friends, but when you went to college, did it feel like each semester felt like one full high school year?
I still am going to college, man.
No, but
make it sound like that.
No. You know, what do you mean? You go to Stern.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
I get it. I don't know. You mean like experience-wise?
In terms of just,
like growing?
yeah, your emotional stability on top of your general perspective.
I think I grew a lot when I was on my own. Like I had my own time to think.
Okay, do you mean like moving out of your home,
Or
or
just my alone time? Those walks back from Stern to my dorm at like 2 a.m. after studying, and I'm just like, what am I thinking about right now?
I don't know. I'm usually.
I think that's like there's a lot of growing up.
Yeah,
But I can't measure it by a semester, but I can measure from when I started to now. And yeah, there's definitely a big change.
Like you're just accelerating, right? And then here's the weird part. Does it freak you out that like maybe when you're like even next year, that you'll look back at the person you are now and be like, what a silly bitch. What was he thinking about that e-commerce thing?
I've stopped doing that actually, but in high school I did that. I was like, I can't believe this. Like I can't believe I did this.
I think it's healthy though. I think it's not good to look back and like beat yourself over it, but I think it's healthy to look back and be like, okay, why was I such an asshole? Oh, I was an asshole because of X, Y, Z.
Well, I'm like a very, I don't know what to say. If I'm not a very negative person, like if I look back, I'm very reflective. I like reflecting a lot.
That's good. That's healthy.
And that kind of shows in my like photography and like videography, which is why I kind of like drones. Like being reflective.
Name drop your new YouTube channel.
No, I don't know. No, not yet. Anyways, reflecting is good for me, in my opinion, because for me personally, because it sort of gives me a benchmark and a reminder of like where I came from and where I am now. It's like a reality check.
Wait, what is the
reflecting?
Oh, reflecting.
Taking some time to reflect.
Yeah.
And I don't like negativity either. I don't like negativity at all.
But okay. I mean, I would say predominantly for most of my life, I was super negative.
Yeah.
Super negative and just super.
Especially in younger grades when everyone was like, Stefan, you're so weird.
Yeah, I know.
So weird.
Because it says everyone. Okay, but there's a difference because like, I got frustrated because I would be like, hey guys, this is how it really is, and it was like, no. We need to look at it the positive way. And then I think there's some danger in that too, that if you don't come to like, if you don't like sometimes look at it and be like, okay, there's nothing positive about it. This is just shit. Like this is just only like a catastrophe.
Mm-hmm.
But then like you need to be able to accept that and be like, okay, I understand that. You have to feel shitty. You have to feel shitty at some points in your life, because then that's what fuels you to be like, I never want to make this mistake again. Right?
It's sort of like you need to know sadness to know happiness.
So that's my approach. So like on one side, like I have been predominantly negative, trying to make myself more positive. But the thing is, I have a bad habit of either doing 0 or 100.
Okay, how about this? don't think of it as negative and positive. Think of it as you can be constructive.
Yeah.
There's a difference between constructive and negative. And oh my goodness, if everyone knew this, my pet peeve, and I think I just like finally discovered this. My pet peeve is when people are so negative and they just give up and they don't offer like any solutions for themselves.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I'm president of my fraternity, and sometimes there's
what
people who are
you are.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
There's people who are like so
Natural
negative.
born leader.
I guess. I'm also an RA. I'm also on MCGE board. Man.
Can I say?
ENFJ,
What that stern blood.
Anyways, like if you're gonna be negative about something, don't voice it. Like you don't have to voice it and then spread like mass hysteria to everybody else. It's not useful. You're bringing up a problem and then you're not even offering a solution. Like, come on, why do that?
Okay, so here's what I realized, because I realized I do that a lot, and then I don't like reflecting because it gets like, it takes you into some deep waters,
Yeah,
dude.
it's deep.
No, like especially for me, it's like really deep waters, man. It gets really bad. So so what I'm saying is that I predominantly always looked at things in a negative way, because the way that I was raised in my youth was through like negativity. Like it was always like, hey, why didn't you get 100? It wasn't like, oh, good job, you got a 98. It was always, you lost 2 points, you fucked up.
Oh.
So
you never had rewards.
That's what I'm saying. So I never. So
that's why they say positive reinforcement is the best.
That's exactly what I'm saying, because that's real. Like, oh, okay, I'm a hunter. I risk my life to hunt this thing, and now I get food. Like that's a real positive reward. That's the way it should be. But like I was raised for years of my life through that way, where it's like, hey, if you do something right, you should have done it. So it was never like I've never been exposed to that thing where it's like, oh, okay, I do something good, I should be rewarded for it. Does that kind of make sense? So like, so my perspective, and the reason why so many people fucking hated me when I was young is because that's the way I was raised, where it was always just like, I don't know why you're like congratulating decency when it wasn't really decency. You know what I mean? Like my standards were just.
Oh, that's deep.
Yeah.
Congratulating decency.
But do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
But then the issue with that is that a lot of the stuff that I found that I had issues with were traced back to the ways that I was raised. And I don't want to like, like, oh, my parents sucked and what. No, it's nothing like that. It's just a different culture. Because, like Asian parents are predominantly super rough. I don't know if you grew up with that or if they were just.
It was all right.
It was all right. Fair amount of ass whoopings, but it was all right. But that's what I'm saying. So it's different.
I feel you.
And then, like, now that I actually have like a higher emotional IQ, where you can actually like you speak to some people and you can gauge like, oh, this person has a very healthy persona. Like they have good self-esteem, they're confident, and you know what I mean. Like you meet people like that, and then so I can kind of just like get that feel, and it's like, oh, you had a shitty childhood.
That's why it's deep.
So on one hand, it's like really hard for me to completely flip, I guess, 20 years of that mindset, which is something I'm trying to do through, new hobbies, podcasting, talking to people, all that stuff, just pursuing new stuff. Because like, honestly, going back to the PR thing, I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, and then end up loving it. Like it was fun. I mean, I didn't do like pure PR. I was essentially a telemarketer, and a lot of people just told me like, hey, go fuck yourself, or hey, kill yourself, or transfer my line to like the fax machine. So do you remember what those sound like?
Like weird sounds.
The weird screw, and it's like, yes, I didn't need that eardrum. It's cool, man. But then, so at first, if you have thin skin, you definitely can't do it because you'll just feel like shit.
Yeah.
But
you're gonna get turned down many times.
Your boy rose above it. And the thing is, I learned to
started from the bottom.
The thing is with that job especially is I learned to be a lot more forgiving of people, because it's just like, okay, maybe this person cussed me out, but maybe they're going through a divorce.
Exactly.
Right? And maybe they're going like they're losing
I know what you mean.
$1.6 million of their like savings.
I went down a similar path, except it's very scary to have sympathy for people that you might not know. That's
another thing I want to bring up. So the thing is, back to what I was saying, is I always go from 0 to 100 because I like to just like, push the boundaries and just see where it goes. Bad. Do not recommend for anyone. Don't ever do that.
And empathy as well.
But the thing was, like, I would meet people who were like really shady people, and I'll be like, hey, I'm not gonna get into details. I was like, hey, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Hey, you want to do this really stupid thing? I'm like, maybe. And then it ends up being like, okay, maybe this dude isn't so bad. Like maybe like he's just a shitty person because that's how he was raised. Maybe he has some like, mommy daddy issues like your boy. Mm-hmm. And then maybe it's just like, okay, so, he's not a bad person. But then you just end up getting into like really fucked, and you end up going to like really bad places where you're just like, dang, why did I go here? So yes, give sympathy, but also just have a good feeling. Like have a high enough fence that you can see the other person, but don't have it so low that they just like come in and just like wreck your shit. That's the moral of the story. Dropping
I
out.
guess we don't want to go too into detail on that one.
No.
Okay, we'll keep it.
I'll tell you after, but it's no way, man.
We'll keep it real.
But it's that kind of stuff because some people are just shitty. I think that's the real thing. Yeah. Yeah, we didn't really talk about travel all too much.
Okay, we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Right now.
That sudden subject change.
Okay.
What time you gotta dip or?
We can talk about travel.
Okay. Okay, so I know you went to Prague. I know you went to Vietnam and Korea.
I stopped by.
Okay, but where else have you? Because from what I've heard, a lot of the people that I know that went abroad to like Europe, like for them traveling between the countries is like, oh, okay, this
exactly
is like a $15 train ride. Let's just go here.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, you were the one who told me that I would like Germany, right?
You would like Berlin very much.
Oh.
Berlin was, oh man, I spent 2 nights in Berlin, and I've maybe got like 4 hours of sleep.
They just party hard.
Berlin's nightlife is, I think it's the most advanced on the planet.
What do you mean advanced? What is that supposed to mean?
They're very ahead of, like, they're just a culture. I mean, they sleep in the clubs. They bring sleeping bags and toothbrushes. And I know it might not sound like it's advanced, but that's where like
that doesn't sound advanced at all, dude. That sounds like poor judgment.
Yo, Berlin's nightlife is like ages ahead of us. Like, they have the most incredible nightlife. They start at like 11 p.m. and they end at like 11 a.m. It goes on that long.
Wait, so this has to be on the weekends then, right?
I mean, yeah, but people go out Sundays. I don't know why. I can't tell you why, but
how do you go to work?
People go. I don't know if they go to work, man.
Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
Europe's economy is kind of just party too hard, man.
Oh, but Berlin was the most crazy experience in terms of nightlife wise, I would say, because you literally just go out for half a day, and then
that is half a day. Holy shit!
And then you go back and you're like, oh my god, why did I just do that? And you're in like a dungeon, mind you. You go down you press like on a window and the door opens up, and it looks like it's like a normal window. It's like a wall. It's a fucking wall, dude. I swear, I cannot make this stuff up.
Sounds like some futuristic stuff, man, with fingerprint scanners.
You walk down, and it's like all red lights or smoke and stuff, and there's a bouncer who's like completely dressed up. You can't dress in black. And there's a thing about being all in black in Germany.
You can't?
No, you have to be dressed in all black when you go out.
Why?
It's just a thing.
It's a cultural thing?
And now I do that. I brought that, and now I do that a lot of times here. It's just natural.
You brought the neo-Gothic?
Neo-Gothic. It's a new nightlife. But anyways, yeah, nightlife in Europe was really interesting to see.
Okay, so then what was your favorite place?
Of all my travels so far?
Sure.
Ooh, that's really hard.
Because I feel like you're the kind of person that would appreciate different things from different places.
I know, it's really hard for me. Yeah, I was literally about to say I like different places for different reasons. So, okay, I'm not going to answer your question, but I'm going to give a list. So, Barcelona, I fell in love with Barcelona. That city is probably my number 1 city on top of New York. And I tell a few people this. But Barcelona is just so beautiful, and the people are nice. And the culture is very open. And I feel like the people there are like very much like me. I feel like they're all ENFJs. I'm just making that up, but I feel like it. Because
if you take your test, your Myers-Briggs test.
I feel like I can talk to anyone there, minus the pickpocketers, which is kind of
annoying. Oh yeah, they I heard that's actually pretty prevalent.
They have those there as well, and minus the non-air conditioned public transportation. That's also pretty.
That is
terrible.
Garbage.
I know, in the subway, like I was sweating bullets. But anyways, Barcelona number 1. If anyone is ever visiting Barcelona, please go to this club called Opium. And yes, that's exactly how you spell it. It's opium.
That's exactly.
I'm not gonna. So anyways, second place, Sevilla, which Americans pronounce as Seville, because it's Seville.
Yeah.
Sevilla, if you're like around 20s, in your young 20s, I would say perfect because when you go out and you're walking the streets in Sevilla, everyone is just chilling in their own little groups. They have they're like just sipping on wine.
It's like a huge block party.
They're playing like everyone's in their own groups. Like no one's like hating on each other. There's no like it doesn't look like there's gangs or anything. They're playing like what's that, hack sack?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is it the sack or is it like the feather thing?
Hacky sack. The
little
ball.
Hacky sack. Yeah.
And then they have the people walking the balancing wires and stuff like that. Everyone's just chilling and enjoying themselves, very much so. And I can't get that anywhere else. Like I didn't get that anywhere else in my travels at all.
You could bring it back, man.
It's hard. Our culture is very hard and very rigid to change. And yeah, I guess those are my two top destinations. So even though I was in Prague, those are my two top.
Prague is more, I feel like if you're older, because it has way more
history.
Especially the only reason why I even know about, a lot of people don't even know where Prague is. The only reason why I know about Prague is because like a lot of classical music is there. So they have
and Vienna as well.
Yeah, their churches and and they have like masses and
yeah, there's a lot of cathedrals there. The last place actually I'm gonna slide in is Cinque Terre.
I don't know where is that?
It's I can't. You have to look it up, man. It is beautiful. It is beautiful. We'll look it up after this. But best. I'm not even a seafood person, and I started liking seafood because it is right along the coast. You've definitely seen this on Google Images because it's the place on the coast of some mountains, and you're basically looking out into the ocean, and there's little villages, and they're very colorful villages. And there's 5 of them.
I think I know what you're talking. Is it
Manarola?
What is it like? Pinkish.
There's pink.
Like
there's
square.
Yes, square. Okay, you might be thinking of Mykonos, which is in Greece.
Oh my God, this is
that
you're throwing down some geography at me, bro.
Yeah, that might be. Mykonos is very famous as well, and I think I know that might be what you're referring to, and it's not that, but we'll show you after. Anyways, those are the 3.
Damn. Would you ever live in any of those places, or
after I'm done? Yes.
I mean, after you're done. Like
after I'm done, like
when you're CEO and you retire, you cash out that.
When I have a lot of money,
10-digit Donald Trump check, small allowance.
That's a good question though. Like when? I haven't even thought about when.
I don't think I'm gonna quit. I don't think I'm ever gonna quit. Just like even just looking at my parents, especially my pops, he's pretty old, and they might force him to retire soon, but he loves to learn and he loves to work. And that's like, it's just something, you know what I mean? Like if you really enjoy what you're doing, you don't want to retire. Just kind of bad because like you have all the baby boomers and then there's a giant increase in population and no one's quitting.
And the millennials
and then we can't get jobs because those people won't retire.
Yeah.
But okay, well that's you want to wrap it up
with some closing statements?
Yeah, I mean
some recap.
It's not too much, but I don't know if there's anything you want me to advertise to all 0 of my viewers.
No, not for now. But we can definitely do this again. I like this.
Yeah, dude, let me know. And then
this is my first podcast actually, but it was really fun.
It's fun, right? You just talk, it's so relaxed. And then if it was up to me, I wish this could be a job. I wish this would take off in my 30s and
It could be.
I would love that.
You could.
I would love that, dude. And just get paid by sponsors. That'll be right. And you just talk shit for 3-4 hours. Dude, it's so fun. It's so fun. Okay. All right. Well, let's just wrap this fucker up. That's pretty much it. Hopefully, I'll have more guests. I'm in my hometown right now, so I have people lined up for like pre-med, art, some politics. I have one kid, you know who he is, who's lived in Poland, but then he moved here.
Oh, I
hope because he flakes, man. No, like so far, like the people I've tried to contact, a lot of people are like, yeah, later. I'm back next week. And I get it. Everyone's busy with their own shit because a lot of people are taking like MCATs and LSATs and GRE.
Especially at this time.
Yeah, so everyone's busy. So I don't know how that's gonna work out, but I ideally like to do it in person because the call quality is better. But if you're not around and if you want to do another one, I'll probably ask you actually.
We can do another one, and we can do one like more in detail.
Yeah, on whatever you want. But then we'll probably do it. Just get a Google account. It's not too hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Well, that's it. And get out of here. Bye-bye.